Before I begin, I want to apologize to some viewers because some of you left me mail and I keep accidentally deleting them. When I log in, I collect my Neo Premium box. We also have the security potion thing you get every time you log in. And I autopilot, I press the receive button and it deletes everything. I think I missed like 5 people for the giveaway and I'm terribly sorry about that. I even went to support to ask if they can help me out. Unfortunately, they couldn't. So please, if you didn't get your giveaway reward, I'm not stingy. I just made a mistake. I'm sorry. I don't know who to send the giveaway rewards to. Please stick around. I'll do something else later on. Now, let's get started with the actual guide and video. Welcome to the dungeon guide for Venus, Goddess of Beauty. This is Batman, and let's go over the Legion dungeon for the 115 cap. Unlike the advanced dungeons, which is one long dungeon with a 20-minute timer, Venus is separated into 3 or 4 separate dungeons, and you can take however long you want in between. All your cooldowns reset every time you start over, so that's nice. There are 3 main difficulties, and the community collectively calls them C1, C2, and C3, from easiest to hardest. We will be focusing on C1 and C2 difficulties because C3 is basically a challenge mode and offers functionally the same rewards as C2. Before we get inside, there are a few game mechanics you need to know. First is the special dungeon key, which by default is tab. This is the Silk of Praise mechanic. Basically, it throws out a string of silk and it allows you to teleport to an object or to bring an object towards you. You mostly want to use it for teleporting, and a lot of patterns basically require you that you use this in order to not get hit. I'll explain those as they come. Second, Venus has certain patterns that will give you an artifact. There are 7 total, and they basically give you good damage boosts. So whenever these patterns come up, make sure you do them properly, or else you'll miss out on free damage boosts. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the first Venus dungeon. Before you fight Venus herself, her 2 attendants fight you. First is Sereina. Let's go over some of her regular attacks first. Every now and then, when she attacks, she'll create a clone of you, and when that happens, you're supposed to use Silk of Praise to attach the clone back to yourself. Otherwise, she will heal from it. To be honest though, she doesn't heal that much, so this is pretty low priority. Otherwise, just try to dodge most of her AoE attacks. It's pretty simple, and if there's a room-wide attack and she goes to the other side of the room, use Silk of Praise to teleport yourself to her. For her main pattern, you'll be able to grab your first artifact. If you don't grab it here, you won't have another chance. She will teleport you inside a purse. Your movement is nerfed inside, but you're supposed to find the perfume artifact in one of the 4 corners of the purse. In this example, I got it right away, but sometimes you have to go through all corners to find it. If your movement speed is slow, don't worry, you will eventually grab the perfume, just keep going. After you grab it, attack the purse to get out. The whole area is a hurt box, so just go to town. When Sereina's HP gets low, Ludis will interrupt, and now you have to fight her. Sereina will still appear here and there, but try not to kill her if you can. Venus only spawns when Ludis' HP is 0. When the strings on the screen turn blue, stay in the gaps to avoid them. Also, don't forget to use Silk to teleport from one side of the room to the other. There's also a pattern where Ludis targets you with a circle, while Sereina targets in a straight line. A guide I read says you're supposed to put the circle on Sereina so they hit each other, but I'm not really sure how much that affects anything. Just make sure you aim the circle away, then Silk to safety, otherwise you get hit. When Ludis reaches 40% HP, she will begin her main attack pattern. This is what it looks like. For the most part, remember the order that the attacks come in. Dodge in that order. Do not panic. At the end, you see two circles. Intersect the two circles and run away when it locks in. Sereina and Ludis will hit each other for a damage phase. This damage phase will not appear if Sereina is already dead, so that's why I said to keep her alive if you can. When you defeat Ludis, the second artifact appears right there. Now it's time to fight Venus. Keep in mind, all of your cooldowns will reset at this point, but your potion count will not. If you happen to die at Venus, or retreat from here, you don't have to fight Sereina and Ludis anymore. You go straight to Venus. Let's go over some of her normal attacks. As always, dodge the red areas, dodge the yellow lines, and the flowers will explode after a few seconds when you touch them. And every now and then, she'll explode all the flowers manually herself, just like that. For this pattern, do not panic. The flowers will take some time to explode. Remember, don't panic. For this pattern, wait for some of the yellow lines to explode, and when it's safe, teleport over to Venus. When you see the cast bar on the bottom, flowers will constantly spawn. Keep running around, create a safe zone, and when that happens, all the rest of the flowers will explode. For certain patterns, you can not only teleport to Venus, but also to that lantern in the middle. If you need to, teleport to the lantern for a safe zone. Every now and then you'll see this purple circle attack. It's really easy to dodge, but just in case you don't, you have to keep the cursor in the green area. My default key was C, but I think if you don't change anything, it's X for most people. When Venus reaches 70% HP, you'll notice a little flower somewhere on the stage. Run to it and catch the little drop from the ceiling, and you get your third artifact. Alternatively, you can also silk towards the flower, and will also destroy the flower, and that also works. Whenever Venus's neutralization gauge is 0, she gets stunned for about 10 seconds. However, if you use silk on her, she gets wrapped up in silk and it gets extended up to 16 seconds if you do it early enough. Don't forget to extend your damage window. By the way, this little silk trick works on every single phase of Venus, so don't forget to see every single animation. Around 40%, she'll do one more special attack. It's very simple. Just teleport to the middle lantern using silk. Now let's do Venus part 2. By now you should have 3 artifacts and you get 2 more from this phase. Most of her attacks in this phase have to do with the spotlight gimmick. You basically have to stay inside the spotlight that she designates for you, otherwise she basically insta-kills you. Near the beginning, she'll say, "Hear me, lowly ones." This is the first artifact gimmick. In here, follow her through the mirror, or you can just run to her or silk to her. Sometimes I don't like using the mirror because if you stand in the mirror, you can teleport back and then she'll hurt you. It's kind of weird. Anyways, continuing on, stay in the spotlight like normal, and at the end of this, she will start summoning some orbs, and you're supposed to collect 4 orbs. When you collect the 4th, you rise in the air, and then you get your artifact. You don't have to collect the 4th orb until the casting bar is almost done though, so no rush. You might see some of her normal attacks. For the most part, they're very easy to dodge. Just avoid the red areas, avoid the yellow lines, stay inside the spotlights whenever they happen. Very simple. Whenever she summons the giant spotlight, stay inside. She will push you out. You're supposed to silk back to her immediately, like that. For this spotlight pattern, eventually there will be a red sign underneath you. Jump at the right time. She'll also summon a bunch of jewels. What you're supposed to do is silk to her when the middle is safe. Just like that. Venus will start her next artifact pattern when she is below 40%. She'll say, "Now, dance." As always, just stay in the spotlight, do the normal things. At this point, dodge the laser and you will see 2 mirrors. Do not go into the mirror. It will drop a yellow orb and you silk to Venus to get the next artifact. In C2, there is another phase of Venus, but we'll cover that after we go through the basics of all of the Venus forms. Now let's do Venus part 3. you should have 5 artifacts, and you get the last 2 in this phase. Every now and then, Venus will disappear into the background, and you can still hit the middle thing, the little constellation thing, and all the damage that you hit towards that will reflect to Venus when she comes back to the screen. Another thing you have to note for this fight is that you have to stay on top of her almost all the time. There are a lot of gimmicks that require you to silk towards her, and you'll see what I mean when I show you the normal attacks later on. Basically, anytime she does any AoE attack, silk to her immediately after she's done. At the beginning of the fight, she will always do the same patterns. She will disappear into the background, and then you're supposed to dodge the stars that come when she launches them at you. Just run around, and also be sure to collect the constellations that drop. You notice the constellation mark on top of your character. You fill that up by collecting the stars that are dropping around the area. If you don't fill it up, Venus will kill you in one shot when she returns. You can run to collect the stars, but you can also use Silk to collect them for you. After some time, she will shoot some stars coming from one side of the screen. Note what direction they're coming from, and you jump and Silk in order to dodge. The reason I'm telling you to jump is because if you Silk, you might accidentally start catching some of the stars instead of teleporting. But if you jump and Silk, you always will teleport. Here's a full example of what the first gimmick looks like. Immediately after this, she will start her first artifact pattern. She goes to the background again, and this is what you're supposed to do. There's going to be a few holes on the screen, and what you're supposed to do is guide the shooting stars into the holes that are not filled up yet. Also, make sure you're jumping when those shooting stars are landing. It hurts a lot if you don't jump. So, find the rhythm and jump at the right time. When you're done filling the holes, you still have a little bit of damage before the casting bar at the bottom finishes up. And then, like last gimmick, pay attention to the direction of the shooting stars and teleport to the other sides of the map. This is the full example of the first artifact gimmick. Now let's go over some of her normal attacks. Remember, always Silk to her after she does an AoE attack. That's a general rule, and you should get most of them. For this pattern, collect some of the constellation stars, and near the end, she'll send a giant circle AoE at you. Go into the corner so that it doesn't catch you, and right before it explodes, jump and Silk to her. For this pattern, Silk to her when the screen flashes purple. Or you can do it right before. Like I said, whenever she has an AoE attack, Silk to her immediately, or you'll get hit by the room-wide attack. And then there's another example. Silk to her after the AoE. On this part, she's going to jump to one side of the room, Silk to her here. And then again, she jumps to another side of the room, Silk to her after the AoE. And then one more in the middle, Silk to her after the AoE. Just like that. This attack might catch you by surprise. She targets you and sends some shooting stars at you. Just run around the room and dodge. For this pattern, she'll do an AoE around her, stay around her, and then she'll send the shooting stars away from her. Follow the shooting stars a little bit and then Silk to her right after. It's safe. This pattern, she'll fly to one side of the room. Remember, stay on her because what she's going to do, she'll send shooting stars across the room. Then she'll do the same thing on the other side, stay on top of her. And she sends an AoE across the room. For this attack, she'll target a wide area. You can keep hitting her to make the area smaller, but just make sure you dodge at the end. Super simple. This pattern looks very similar to one earlier, but you only have 5 constellations to fill instead of like however many the other one had. This one, you don't have to send the circle anywhere. As long as you get enough constellations, you have invincibility for this part. This attack I die to very often because it's really fast. You have to get to one side of her and jump and teleport to her and avoid the room-wide attack. It's really fast, so you have to be paying attention. When she gets below 40% HP, she will begin her second artifact gimmick. So let's go over what you're supposed to do in this. You're supposed to dodge the red areas. First, stay outside of the red, and then stay inside the circles. When you see the circle underneath you, drag it into the hole to fill it up. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you're not inside those circles. You get hit every single time. I also want to show you what happens when you don't fill all the holes. You only need to fill the holes 2 times to get the artifact, but you want to do it a 3rd time so you get a free damage phase on Venus. Also, if you fill 2 holes, you don't have to dodge any more of those circles. But if you mess up like you do on here, you have to do this a 3rd time. Just like this. I will now show a full example of what the second artifact attack looks like. So that's pretty much all the main gimmicks for Venus, parts 1, 2, and 3. However, if you're doing C2, there are a few additional things you have to take note of. We'll go over it right now. In part 1, you'll notice that Venus will have a little full recovery bar. When that fills up, she kicks you out immediately. Basically, this is a DPS test. If you don't have enough damage, she kicks you out. You have about 2 minutes or so before she kicks you out. Some classes will have an easier time than others passing the DPS check, but you know, I think generally if you have about 55k fame, I think it doesn't really matter what class you are, as long as you have, you know, fine creature, aura, and title, you should be able to pass the DPS check. But again, it depends on your character, depends on your skill level, and depends how you got to your fame. If you have a good weapon, that also helps a lot. Now let's go over Venus's second phase of part 2. During her second phase, she'll do an AoE attack at the beginning. You can use iframes if you want, like my Third Awakening, and then she'll start using the Spotlight gimmick again. Follow it, and at the very end, you grab the orb and silk to her. And this also counts as like a first artifact gimmick in case you didn't get it the first time, but most likely that's not going to happen. You should have gotten the artifact the first time. So no artifact came out in that case. For this Sparkly Mystery gimmick, she has this diamond in the middle, and you'll notice it pulsates, it shines golden every now and then. What you're supposed to do is auto attack it and then create some orbs on the ground. And then you grab the orbs and bring it to Venus 4 times. And this way you get a damage phase off of her. When she's below 40% HP, she will do her final gimmick. This gimmick will also give you the second artifact in case you didn't get it the first time. But basically, you stand in the spotlight, just like always, and you jump at this timing. And also pay attention to the yellow lines. This part is a little bit tricky. You can stand outside the spotlight for just about 1 second. You have a little bit of leeway. Wait for the lines to explode first, and then follow your spotlight. If you follow your spotlight the whole time, you're going to get hit by the yellow lines. For this part, do not panic. Jump right when the circle that Venus is in finishes expanding. That's a good timing for you to do. If you're unsure about your timing, you can always use the leap skill. After you're done jumping, keep hitting Venus until she's outside the circle, and then also pay attention, she still has that little circle around her. The artifact does not come out until after that shield breaks. So in case you skip the artifact the first time, don't kill her too early. Now let's go over Venus's part 3, second phase. She immediately goes to the center of the map, and you just have a free DPS phase for most of the part. Follow her to the side, and right when she runs into you, auto attack her to knock her off. And really that's it. After this, she does all her normal patterns. That simple. Also notice that she does have a little time limit. You have about 1.5 minutes to finish her, otherwise she kicks you out, but this should be very easy. If you pass a DPS test the first time, this is an easier DPS test. You should have all of your artifacts. You're way stronger than you were at the beginning. When you finish the dungeon, you get your prizes. If you do C2, you get free fusion stones. C1 will not give you these fusion stones. Normally, if you only do C1, you have to buy these fusion stones with 300 Silk of Praise. That's really expensive. Honestly, I think if you want to fast track yourself, it might be worth buying cells. You know, go on Tuesday, that's when everyone's playing. Pay 800k or 1 mil to someone. Look for the parties, and they will carry you through, and they'll run you through C2. And honestly, it's way faster progress than doing C1, and it's really not that expensive. Also, don't forget to disassemble your fusion stones right after you open the boxes. When you do that, they give you 100 free Silk of Praise. I guess while I'm at it, let me describe the difference between a set fusion stone and a distinct fusion stone. So the set fusion stones, they give you set points like I've mentioned before. So like, you know, for this set, you know, you can see the little yellow butterfly and the pink butterflies. This is for the navel on this side. For Venus, you'll have the armors on this side. But at the end game, when you don't need any more set points, you want the distinct fusion stones. You'll see the symbols right here. You also check them out right here, so you can see that I have all epic distincts over here. They don't give you any set points, but they're way stronger than the set fusion stones. The end game looks like this. All distinct fusion stones here, all distinct fusion stones over here. That's the end game goal. So that's the Venus dungeon. Sorry this video is really long. Venus has a lot of gimmicks. There's a lot of stuff to learn about Venus. And I didn't even get into challenge mode yet. That can be a whole different video by itself. So again, I apologize to all my viewers if I missed your messages, if I accidentally deleted them. This time, instead of sending me a message to the mail system, why don't we do this in the comments? If you made it to the very end, I want you to say this. Venus is actually cute. She's not the goddess of beauty, by the way. I don't know, I'm just kidding. Anyways, just say Venus is cute. Also, put your in-game name, your character name in the comments, and also what server you're in, Kane or Sirocco. And in addition, send me a little comment, just like, oh, thanks for the video, or just whatever you want to say. So those 3 things. Say, no, what's her name? Venus is actually cute. Your character name and server name, and then send me a little message. Put that in the YouTube comments, and I'll send you guys something. So that way I won't delete your messages by accident. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you next time.